If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit him with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit him with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla just cause I say so. Electric whip like Ivan Van Gogh. I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
I've been on a mission like totally spice. I'm a baddie, she bad, but she totally nice. Sneeuw så blue en het toes wil ik white. Ik kom niet met jou, dat is zo voor mijn lijk. He knew it for sure, but he left with a why.
What is up, party? All right, so I got some really big news. Trying to figure that stuff. What's up, Sean Smith? How you doing, sir? Make sure you guys go out there. You like, share this. There is a new added feature to this. Like I said, the panel will definitely be Discord right now. Definitely be over at Discord. That little QR code you guys see, actually, right down in there, right there in the bottom corner, that should take you to the Discord. Yeah, like a faster way, I think. If actually, you know what? I guess it would only work if you're on your computer. I didn't even think about that. That QR code is actually because just realize, and mind you, I put that up there. Got it, put it up there about 5 minutes before I started streaming, so I didn't really put much thought to it. If you're on your phone, it's and if you're on your computer, I guess if you're on your computer and you want to use your phone to get to the server, that's what you do. There you go. For there, it won't be up there for very long. It'll last a couple. You can only have it up there. Oh, back to the big news. So coming up next week, it's not an official date yet, but coming up next week, I will be interviewing Will Duffy on the live stream. That I definitely excited for that. So obviously, basically any questions that I hear or anyone that pings me in Discord or DMs me in Discord, or pings me in Discord, your questions, I will add them to the interview question list. Mind you, I do have a long list of questions to ask Mr. Duffy. Unlike a lot of people, not just look at it from I dislike flirfs attitude. So it's going to be what I hope for to be a very non-biased interview. Looking at it from the standpoint, what my main goal for this interview is to answer the questions that are in between, get more of an in-depth idea of what Duffy's plan for himself is there, because a lot of people are kind of acting as if he's only the money. And from what I got from the interviews I've seen, he does want a little bit more involvement into it. I do know we kind of classify him as what we call a normie, but I think it's going to be fun. I'll probably repeat this. I think it's going to be fun. I'm very excited to do it. I've actually wanted to interview him since Demon Stride had interviewed him on his channel. Description, want to check that out. Uh, I've watched a few interviews that he's done with Globers. One I did, I watched one we did with Jaren, obviously. So I guess up until then, I'm just going to compile stuff to ask him. What's up, Anamorphic? And try to figure out the questions that I have. Excuse me. Questions. The questions that I have, and the questions that I know flat earthers have for him. Things they want answered that still haven't been answered, and just kind of spitball it from there. But overall, I would like it to be an interview to figure out all the misconceptions that a lot of people have, maybe that I have, maybe that that are going around the community. Because realistically, what happens is Will Duffy says something, and then myself and everybody else, we all start playing the phone game. So I could be wrong in my assessment of what he's trying to say, and other people can be wrong in their assessment. So I want to really let's make it clear. This is what I really want to do. A lot of the interviews have been really focused on uh, the blurf, as you guys call them. I don't like. I'm not gonna say that. But you guys think the flat earthers will do, act, what they're doing. I want to find out what Duffy's plans are, where Duffy plans on going after this experiment. I want to find out his initial reasoning, not his initial reasoning, and this is going to be the weird part about it. I completely understand that I probably know 90. I probably will know 90% of the questions that I ask him, but because it's an interview, I'm supposed to look at it as if I have never talked to him, right, or never heard these things. So it's gonna be fun. There are things I'm gonna bring up that I have not heard at all in interviews. I think more for the idea that they don't want to ruffle feathers. I don't mind ruffling. I don't mind. Again, it's not like I want to prove he's gonna do. No, no. This is literally just gonna be an interview. Questions, get answers. Um, at the very end, maybe we can go back and forth about my views of this experiment and my views of what's going on in the community involving the experiment. But the plan is non-biased, only the answers that need to be answered. So yeah, like I said, if you just got here, next week, unofficial date, but definitely going to happen. I am going back and forth with him and Will Duffy in emails. So there will be an interview with Will Duffy here next week. What I'd actually really like to do, and I'm going to try this out. I got a couple feelers out there for this. What I really like to do is interview Duffy, and then maybe the next day interview Witsit or Jaren um, about it, because that's actually something I haven't seen. I haven't seen that one bit. I haven't seen anybody interview somebody with the interview a flat earther, Jaren Witsit, or any of the other flat earthers that have been asked to go, and actually interviewed them about it. It's been I know Jaren had said a lot about it, and respect to him. Like I said, I read his little memorandum memorandum from Facebook last stream. Before that, 2 streams ago, at the very end, I read it, um, and I thought that mad respect to him for doing that. Uh, so I kind of want to see if we that could happen, because I have not seen that. I have not seen flat earthers being actually interviewed about it. I've just seen the flat earthers interviewing Duffy, and then they'll give their critiques and stuff. But it's not you're not getting the questions, you're not getting the answers that you would want from them about this. Um, Mainly because what I see happening is uh, Globers watch Duffy's interviews or watch his uploads, and then they make their whole story about why flat earthers don't do what flat earthers do, and blah blah blah. What up, M2M? How you doing, sir? It's been a while. the truth is my own perception. Could be wrong, could be right, but it's mine. Yeah, so like I said, if you guys want to join the Discord for the panel, again, this is open topic. I just wanted to definitely get that out there that I will be interviewing Duffy. With that being said, make sure you guys let everyone know what's going to happen. Let like and share. Most importantly, share this link in all the Discord, all the YouTube, so everyone knows what's going on right now. Going. Few things I wanted to talk about. Uh, yesterday was fun. I actually really fucking and here's why. Uh, it sparked something that I used all the time, and it is part of my process. Sometimes this process takes a lot longer, mind you, when I say this. But like I said, the way I got into flat Earth, before flat Earth, I was there's a very keen distinction I want to lay out on this part of though. It's a good thing to be a conspiracy theorist, um, in the sense that you should question. You shouldn't just look at things for face value. It is good to be skeptical of everything, right? Uh, the bad part is this. I look at my truth, M. I look at being conspiracy theorists as one piece of a puzzle. Uh, when you have doubts, disbelief about something, that is a natural thing. It's very common. I don't understand why people more often. But what's in problem starts when your skepticism is the beginning, which it should be, the middle, which it can be, and then there's the end, which being a conspiracy theory, being a skeptic is the most important part of being. I didn't learn that until, unfortunately, about 4 years into being a true conspiracy theorist. Um, just remember, a conspiracy theorist is only one part of the puzzle. If you say you're a conspiracy, you're only half the equation. I consider myself a conspiracy theorist and a skeptic, conspiracy skeptic, because that is the only way to go about trying to figure these things out and trying to come to a conclusion that's rational, that is a truth, because even you can lie to yourself. You think, what's up, Totoro? Yeah, no worries, no worries. He said he's just listening in for today. That's the problem with that. Um, Here, what's on the plan? Oh, so with that being said, what I was saying, the reason I brought that up is because over since the beginning of the final experiment that's going on, what I've noticed is that there is a very update on. All right, so it is set. Okay, the Will Duffy interview on YouTube tutorial. Do I need to unmute? I wasn't sure if you're listening on YouTube or if you're listening on YouTube or you're not. I'll unmute stuff. Okay, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and deafen myself, or I'll just keep myself muted for right now and show up. Okay, okay, so it's official. Sorry about that. What's up, nerd? Trying to specific conspiracy theories are psyops. by the government. Yeah, agree with that. I think lightning strikes just killed my Wi-Fi on mobile data. Yeah, we just had big storm. Okay, so what was I saying? Okay, oh shit. Okay. Um, so it is set. The interview will be on Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain. That's 5 p.m. Central. That's 6 p.m. Eastern. That is 3 p.m. West Coast time. So let that be known. I'm going to get all my links and all that stuff started so I can get that promoted. But yeah, it is definitely set to be on Monday. So I am absolutely excited for that. This, type this in. All right, so yeah, definitely excited for that. So I definitely have to get all my lists going. So yeah, it's gonna be great. Excited. Um, let me see here. Okay, so now that I'm back to right here, right where I'm at, now that I got that all taken care of, quick. All right, so excited for that. Back to what I was saying. Okay, so since the beginning of this final experiment thing, what I've been encountered with, I've been I'm in a lot of different talking about this this morning, and there's a very skewed idea of how this is and why this is happening, how it is, right? So let me just kind of lay it out where we are so far on it. Things may have changed. My acknowledgement is of pretty much the last interview we had because right off the bat. Um, but as it is right now, there's like an interference on what's going to happen. There's Duffy and Jaron. Jaron has agreed to go. He has a stipulation. He wants Witsit to go. He wants two flat earthers to be there. Whatever trust issue he has, it's not abnormal that he has this trust issue, right? It's normal for flat earth. But shouldn't be acting like this is weird. It's normal. Um, the issue with that would be that um, he wants. Well, hang on, backtrack. So what he wants out of this experiment, flat earthers, or one flat earther, one glober, and himself. Now, I see where there's an issue. I understand why Jaren wants another show, but everyone thinks it's somehow a Witsit way out. The way I see it is what's up, Imbo? What I find to be issue with this conversation is you guys need to understand, and this is to the Glovers that are doing this. Um, Duffy, as normie as he is Glober. And in the realm of flat Earth, globe Earth, it counts. So if it was Duffy, Egan, and Jaron going, Glober's one flat earther. Do not understand where that is a setup for conspiracy. So there became these solutions that were coming about with this, right? It was it was scrap, or at first it was Duffy saying, I'll sit back. I won't go. That way, Egan, Jaron, and Witsit could go. I don't get that at all. As far as I'm concerned, Duffy is an important one too. he's what we consider a normie. He needs to see it just as much as anybody else needs to see it. Then it became a situation of, oh, well, because he's a normie, he doesn't understand what it takes to get these experiments. And that to me was an insult on Duffy. He is literally taking suggestions for experiments to do there. They are making observations. They're not doing experiments. Why can't Duffy do observations? I think he can. I assume Duffy is more than capable of recording observations and taking suggestions and implementing those suggestions into the trip. So it went back to, well, they need somebody that can document it correctly. Well, Jaron, and this is my personal opinion, this is the opinion of Globers that I've heard talk about Jaron. Jaron has some of the best footage out there. I would say better than most of the fucking Globers. What he does with that information is obviously not correct. But Jaron is more than capable of recording honest data, honest observations for things. There is no doubt about that. What he does after, and say we can start saying things about it, but let's keep it real. So again, my suggestion was, why doesn't it just be Duffy, Jaron, Whitsitt? It's the observation, and this part is just on me now. This is not part of theirs because I don't want them. I'm attacking their character. It makes sense if you. What I suggested was Duffy, Jaron, Whitsitt go. Those three are more than capable of making an observation. Duffy is more than capable of recording on his own devices, same way Whitsitt and Jaron would record on their own devices what they're observing. Now, I get that Keegan going would be good because he has a very in-depth sense of how Flat Earth handles these things. But here's the thing. If Keegan goes, what Jaron and Whitson do when they come back will make zero difference to me. If Duffy goes and just those two, or if Keegan goes and just, they're going to have the same speech. They're going to say the same thing, whether it is a globe, there was a 24-hour sun, there isn't, or whatever they come up with. There's no reason that whoever's there is going to change that. The main thing that would be important is that Duffy can record what they're doing. Jaron can record what they're doing. Then you take that footage and you watch it. Everything after that is what they're going to do anyway. So where Globers are saying flat earthers are overcomplicating it, I think Globers are overcomplicating and not realizing the significance of what's actually happening. Let's get one thing straight. It doesn't matter if Jaron, Whitsitt, Dave Weiss goes, or the bottom, what you guys consider bottom tier flat earthers. This is going to change the person's view on things when they go. Only a select few flat earthers are going to even care what they say if it has anything to do with the globe or what we say works on a globe. I've already recorded it, I've uploaded. Go check out the last upload I did. This isn't going to change flat earth. This isn't the final anything. It's a good name. I like the name. Call a spade a spade. So, not my money, not even my trip. I'm not involved except for the fact that I get to interview the guy. So if anybody didn't hear, just got here, Monday, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Central. I'm going to be interviewing Will Duffy here. So that's going to be fun. Yeah. And then it's just this idea that it needs to be a specific Glober. Trust me, the Glober has nothing to do with this. That's as ridiculous as it gets to me. I think that a specific Glober needs to go. This isn't about the Glober. It's about flat Earth. And I've already said this before. If it was up to me what would make sense is you take a predominant flat earther, as predominant as a flat earther who is willing to go without all the strings attached. How about that? Because just remember this, people. There are a lot of flat earthers saying they are more than willing to commit to going. Right now, we're playing the witch hunt on the ones that the Globers want to go. Again, doesn't fucking matter. It's not going to change anything that you want the specific flat earther to go. The idea is to have a flat earther go. Fuck it, as many flat earthers as you can get. That's what it is. And this idea that any flat earther have to fork up their own money to go is a fucking joke. Proposed by Globers, the chances proposed by Globers for flat earthers, and just understand it's not just a fucking trip. This is stop your life and go do this. Now, I've also said I am 100% thinking that Darren shouldn't need in between money. Like my life is going to be put on hold money because he can live stream on the way there. The whole journey to South America, record and upload the journey to Antarctica, live stream there. I think I don't know how that works there, but his career can still go on doing what he's doing. Now, let's make something very clear. I don't think Darren wants to go. I don't think Darren wants there to be a 24-hour sun, but I think he does feel an obligation to. If he does commit to actually going, like commit, like sign the dotted lines, I'll say he's up for truth because he's the only one that's really going. Or he's not the only one saying it, but he's the only one saying it. He's not the only one that feels this way. But if there's a 24-hour sun, flat Earth doesn't work. That's a big thing for him. That's not a cut and dry, all or nothing. But here's the thing: you are a true, really, really, really want to know what's going on. Matter. I'll tell you right now. My live stream got smaller. No, they actually got bigger after a while. But see, that was different. I had more conversation. Debates. Getting a debate was a lot easier. Flat Earther. Um, I ruffled a lot of feathers. I lost a lot of friends. You have to. It has again. This is where my view on this. A lot of people, because I was a flat earther, I get it. I get what's happening in the honest person's mind about this. Um, Anyone that knew as a flat earther and my journey through continuing on knows that I don't run the tote. I don't just hear and then follow and be like, oh, that's absolute. I'm very skeptical of everything. I like learning and I will devil's advocate in uh, because even my brain works, right? Um, it doesn't matter the topic. You name a topic, your own brain could have a good and a bad argument. Your ethics and morals, I guess, will push you towards which one of those ideas and thoughts your life is better for, right? What's up, Blue? What's up, Escape? How you doing? Bet he already has ChatGPT script to craft. Yes, what's a wordsmith? Absolutely. Tutora says in the Discord chat, the idea is to have the most prominent flappers go, those that do it for a living. The fact that they are squirming and dodging it already old. It shows to the flocks on the sidelines, that they don't have the courage or of their conviction because they know the answer. Um, I agree. I actually agree with that. Um, I again, I get why on a predominant flat earther to, and I am in agreement with that. I want Jaron. I want Dave Weiss. I want Nathan Oakley. I want Nathan Thompson. I want these guys to go. Um, but here's where things change for my brain and how it works on this. Um, Regardless of what Flat Earther goes, it will not stop Flat Earth. If you go watch that upload again, you're gonna see real quick that what Jaron actually, what Jaron has said about the 24-hour sun, and if it's there, Flat Earth doesn't work. He has to rethink things. Um, that has literally draw a line in the sand. Um, Not only to the fact that people are just coming out and going, "Oh, there's a different view of this." Oh no, oh no, no, no. There's a lot of people that have very big issues with Jaron right now, because he said. Um, I talked to the servers of flat Earth servers, and that they think he's fucking. They think he. I don't agree with this, okay, at all. They right off the bat, paid op. Swear to God, paid op. Right up. Second, it was said, paid op. Um, they think, and it's weird. It is very weird. I get what Whitsit's doing. Whitsit wants Duffy to. Okay, if Duffy has said, and oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. Duffy has said he drop his seat so Keegan can go, Whitsit and Jaron. Now that I think about it, I would understand, but at that point, it doesn't make sense why he's so willing to put the money. Then I have more questions. Those ones I'm going to wait until the interview. I would ask him. What's up, Tex Lex? How you doing?
Hey, yeah, no, sorry.
No worries. Yeah, just talking about the final experiment and all the whining. I think doing. I know you don't really.
I mean, I care, but not in the way that you care, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely does.
Hold on, let me exit out of this game.
Minecraft.
No, Among Us.
Favorite.
It's one of them. I play it pretty frequently.
We were talking about that. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Didn't know if you heard yet. On Monday, I will be interviewing on my live stream.
Awesome.
Yep. All those questions that we ask over at Demon Stride server while we're in the voice chat. Because were you there when Booma? Like, I wonder if it's here for that.
I mean, I talk to Booma pretty frequently, so you're gonna have to be more specific.
I don't know if I want to be. I don't want. I want to be the first one to ask him this question. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to DM you, and
Okay.
I'll DM you the question because
You-
Booma, we were sitting. Okay, so everyone, I'm not going to say because again, I really want this. I want to be the first one to ask him this. I think it'd be. I had to make sure when I clicked to the DM.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I did that. I was talking shit with Scoops, and I was streaming, and Demon was watching it with the live stream.
That's my crescendo question.
Oh,
That's going to be my crescendo question.
that's a good one. Yeah, because I know that Omnivore has been really rooting for Duffy, strictly off of the basis of him being Christian.
Yes. Which that's the weird part. To me, it doesn't matter. But I know like Demon Stride loves that religious debate, that push about it. I don't. I don't really care so much that he's a pastor. Um, to me, all right, he's just a rich dude, right? That's about the only thing that I look at when it comes to it. Like, but he has a fight in the game. I get it. I don't know why Omni fucking defends him so much. Well, that's the biggest issue. Understand this is. I'm not sure if you were you at the server this morning, or have you been there in the last hour?
No, I've straight up just been playing Among Us.
Well, me and Watchmaker, you know how we roll.
Oh Lord.
We were talking about this,
He
and
gets panties in a wad.
yeah. So what I've noticed is happening is Glovers, and so understand this, people. A lot of people aren't going to like to hear this, but this is now official. Um, no longer a Glober. Hear me out. The same way people look at atheists now differently than what they actually are. Like an atheist probably just doesn't care, right? There's no conversation about it. But like the new atheist is someone who's out to show someone who believes in a God that they're wrong. That's to me is what the new atheist actually is. Well, to me, the new Glober are those is the same fucking thing. It's those people that are just so hell bent on proving every flat earther wrong that they get blinders on and they just don't have a rational idea of how things.
Yeah, it's not to educate, it's to shame.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So we're having this conversation over at the other, and it's literally about who goes. And I'm, it's like I get why there's going to be two flat Earth, why Darren wants another flat Earther. The reason he's a flat earther is he's paranoid about it. So just understand that makes sense to me. But then it was like, well, Keegan needs this other guy needs to go because they don't know what they're doing. And then it's just like, but even Globers agree that Jaren has some of the best globe footage there is. That's not a question of being able to record these. It's just that they have this, like I was saying, they just have this really way of how they assume other people think. And it goes to this idea to me, and I hate saying it, but Witsit and all those guys, they're right, man. A Glober is just an anti-flat earther. So when someone
Yeah.
says a Glober, are assumed to be a Glober, just wants to tell the flat earther to shut the fuck up and listen, and it doesn't work. So I officially am no longer a Glober. Uh, Mind you, the Earth is a fucking globe. I don't want no one going, oh shit, Sean's a flat earther again. Sort of.
Healing can often be regressive, Sean.
I honestly, I can't win, Tex. When I was a flat earther, because I questioned flat Earth at the time, I wasn't a flat earther then, right? I was a lot of my friends call me 50-50. They were like, man, your arguments are like globe, but you say you're a flat earther. So it was like I got shit then. Then I got back to the globe, and just because I question how people have conversations or the stuff they say incorrectly, they assume I'm a flat earther again. That was another thing he said in the chat a few times. Just a flat earth apologetic. Like, no, man, it's just talk fucking reality. Take your blinders off and have this conversation. But everyone does that. It happened last night in MC's live stream. I went over there, and I don't think you were there when I blew up at Brenda, didn't you? We're at the server. Happens a lot. It was the
No,
other
I
morning.
I know it was another morning, but I don't think I was in the server at the time. I think I
Okay.
had just left and you had popped in.
Okay, so
I think I was off fucking around.
it was a basic conversation about the question flat Earth pilots that are in the community. And mind you, I got validation for this point already, so this is why the argument became very weird that being had with her. Um, the argument was that there are zero flat Earth pilots. Problem is that I know a flat Earth pilot. She has shown me her license. She has shown me her or numbers that you get from the FAA. And it became very relevant to the fact that a flat Earth pilot, they do exist and they can exist. The shape of the Earth means zero to a prop plane pilot. A pilot that takes off from like an airport that I lived at, that shape of the planet doesn't matter. I also know this for a fact because I've flown. Like I was learning to fly to get my license. There's nothing. The shape of the Earth makes zero difference in a plane that size. And it was like we had a pilot. Fuck, who was it? It was Shoebill. I don't remember exactly. But we had a pilot in there that verified. It was like, yeah, a prop plane doesn't matter. But the second you get to a jet, commercial airliner, something that with significant distance, it does matter. And it was
Yep.
like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But she doubled down, Brenda doubled down, and it was kept arguing that there are none. Then this is the weird part. She conceded that there may be flat Earth pilots, just not commercial pilots. Fast forward to MC Toon's live stream last night, and out of nowhere, or not out of nowhere, I'm fibbing. MC Toon started talking about that. What's up, C4? Yes, I'll start over just for you, buddy. Oh, C4, I actually will. On Monday, I will be interviewing Will Duffy on my live stream at 4 p.m. It will be different than all the other globe-loving, blinder-having Globers that interview. Good way of doing it. I like saying that. Write that down. But MC Toon started talking about there being no flat Earth pilots. So I pinged him in the live chat saying, hey, that's not true. Maybe at the commercial level, but prop plane pilots, absolutely there can be flat Earth pilots. Shape of the Earth doesn't matter. Brenda doubles down again. Says there are none. Now here's the funny part. MC Toon, as she's doing this, is talking about a guy named Quincy. Yeah, Gary. Yeah. I remember I heard you talking about you said that the other day when we were talking about this. That morning you were there. You were there for this, and he was talking about a guy named Quincy, a flat earther that is a pilot, a prop plane, right? Not a commercial. So then Brenda's like, "Well, there's one, but none, no more." I'm like, "You just said there were none, just because your fanboy daddy MC Toon said there's one. Now you concede to one, even though you already conceded. So now there's two. So just get that. When you want to have this argument about flat Earth pilots, there absolutely are flat Earth pilots. The shape of the Earth can be understood and be a prop plane pilot. It doesn't do thousands and thousands of miles and not. All you're doing is following your heading. All you're doing, plotting out a path. And I get that you say, like, I get the argument. It's a globe. Remember this. Fucking globe. You guys don't have to jump at me for this. You don't need to give a fuck about the shape. You follow procedure and then follow a heading. That's simple. That's how simple a small plane flying is. I mean, it's difficult, but shape of the Earth means fucking. Okay, let me go into my chat because I know they're talking and I haven't said anything. FE claims they ask pilots, commercial airlines, they don't talk about light air. Some do. A lot do, actually. I know Witsit claims to have a fighter jet flat Earth friend or guy he knows. I don't believe that. I don't believe that because when you're hitting Mach 3, Coriolis starts actually becoming a thing, and your heading starts getting real skewed real fucking fast. Commercial pilots, too much distance. That triangulation starts looking real odd, and you're not going to get the right numbers if you don't accept that triangle is going to go more than 100. Period. But again, I know it's a globe, guys. But that's exactly why it's like that. Blue prop jets make no difference. Yeah. Okay. I see Blue. So Blue says it's not about it being a prop or a jet. It's the distance that matters, and I guess that would mean. The reason why it would be that way for a prop pilot blue would be because they're not typically they don't go that far. Okay, makes sense. Perfect. Looking at my notes, is crap out of. Oh, okay. On my other list. All right. Oh, anyone who knows Shane, tell him to go flip him off. Tell him a big F you for what he did to Demon Stride. That asshole canceled the debate on purpose just to fuck with Demon Stride. Yeah, Demon Stride found that out the other night, or last night actually. So it was Shane's plan all along.
Hey, so I've been meaning to speak up here. Just don't have much time to talk. The fighter thing, it's not so much about speed. Coriolis at Mach 3 isn't really going to affect an aircraft very much at all. The thing that's going to affect the aircraft is, and the reason why there are no flat Earth pilots, what they really mean is commercial pilots, and mostly what they mean is jet pilots. The reasons are not, like you could trick yourself theoretically into, if you just follow aeronautical charts, especially in the Northern Hemisphere only, you can basically trick yourself into thinking it's flat. And if you just sort of have your blinders on, you can kind of sort of do it. And the problem is that at high altitude, the altitudes at which these jets fly, at 30,000 plus feet, you're going to be able to see, if you look out at your horizon, especially if you have a heads-up display, you're going to be able to see aircraft that are very, very far away that are same altitude. You're going to be able to see on your instruments that they're same altitude, but they're going to appear below your horizon level. And then as they get closer, they're going to start rising and rising and rising until they are pretty much at your eye level. In fact, even the better ones are the ones that are, let's say, 1,000 feet above you on the instruments, but you're going to be able to see them there actually below your horizon level or horizon line. And as you get closer, they're going to start rising up in your eye point, so to speak, until they basically overfly directly above you. And that's how you can tell that they're actually just following the curvature of the Earth. Because at that altitude, you can see very far away. And same thing, by the way, with clouds. So commercial pilots are taught about how to operate weather radars on board and how to correctly operate the tilt function, especially when you're looking at very distant weather, 80 to 100 nautical miles away. The amount of drop from horizontal, the amount of tilt basically that you have to put into the weather radar in order to correctly paint weather and determine whether it's below you, above you, or same altitude, or whatever, is quite significant. There are pretty much every pilot is taught this when they're taught how to operate a weather radar, is that there is a there's basically like the obstruction of the paintable weather by weather radar because of the curvature of the Earth, and it depends upon your altitude. And you're taught a formula basically like how to figure out how far you can paint the weather, and then also how to. It's even apparent, in fact, if you have a big storm cell and it's like 82, you can easily see it from 80 to 100 miles away, and it's significantly sort of apparently below you, but as you get closer, it starts, so to speak, rising up, and it's because of this, because you're literally rolling around the curvature of the Earth, and you're actually equal altitude with the cell. So that's one of the skills that pilots have to be able to sort of intuit themselves, that if I see a storm cell that's very far away, and it's okay, it's below me, it's not going to remain that way for the whole trip. You might have to start planning a way around the thing.
Yeah. So that gave me an idea, because I have access to a plane. Probably convince a couple pilots, but this would be a good thing, right? Like if we had two people recording from inside the plane, so you could see like their altitude, and then had two planes coming in, heading toward each other from the distance, not very close, but do this from 10 miles out and start going towards each other in this. But you'd actually be able to see that actually happen from anywhere, right? You'd be able to see that effect happen. Because I've seen
from 10 miles out, it's going to be difficult. You're going to probably have to, for jets, the reason why you can see it is you can see contrails from quite far away, Whereas
Okay.
for
A
small prop
signature.
airplanes, if you don't get above like flight level 200, it's not really going to be visible. And you can even test this. You can test the fact that the horizon drops away quite trivially on an aircraft, even as a passenger, but especially as a pilot. With a heads-up display, the horizon is quite apparently below your level line.
Yeah. So actually, funny story. So like I said, I've done probably about 4 hours of flight training. Not nothing paperwork wise, doc paper study and all that. Flight training, stick time. Um, and one of my biggest issues, the first 2 times I went up, that I was slapped on my wrist numerous times for doing, is noticing my horizon. For anyone who doesn't know, when you fly a plane, the last thing you're supposed to do is stare at the horizon, because your body, your motor skills naturally try to balance you to it. And every pilot in the world is going to tell you after they smack the shit out of you that if you are pointed at the horizon, you're dead. And that whole effect of it is a real thing. Very weird.
Yeah, I guess a little bit. It's really not. I mean, at low altitude is really not going to be very noticeable.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because I know for at 5 miles is the plane that I was flying, he had the GPS, so we knew there was a plane ahead of us 5 miles, and it looked like a speck of a speck. Yeah, so I see what you're saying. Low altitude, small prop plane, not a recipe for great observation.
You, even at long distance, even with big jets at like 80 miles, you're not going to be able to discern the
Oh,
plane itself with just your eyes. You need a telescope for that. So
yeah,
the thing that you notice is the contrail. That's the very obvious thing.
yeah, yeah, and that is contrail, people. Contrail,
It's
not
condensation.
yeah, not chem. So we're going to talk about that on another stream pretty damn soon, because I've been doing a lot of my little geoengineering, weather modification, a lot to say. Okay. Oh, I remember now. Oh, I remember what I was saying earlier. Yesterday, I had the time of my fucking life talking about that David Adair guy. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of those. I'm going to be searching out for these crazy ass stories and go for there, because this does it get better. It gets a lot. What's up, Sasha? How you doing? I don't know if you can talk or not. How you doing? Um, this David Adair guy, for people who don't know, David Adair is, and this is the story, fact. He was a 17-year-old kid, very, very smart, talking, would be classified genius or beyond. 17 years old, he claims that he, hang on, I literally have to get my notes, because if I don't say this correctly, like I have been, I'll fuck it up, and I insist on having to read this note every time I say it. He claims to have built a electromagnetic plasma fusion in parentheses electric rocket at 17, and have then fired it at White Sands into Area 51 at the request of DOD and quote unquote men in black suits. Um, at that point, same day, they put him in a cargo plane and flew him to Area 51, where they then introduced him to a engine equivalent to his. Uh, Difference would be his was the size was an average amateur rocket size, I guess. There's no pictures of it. Problem. He says this one was the size of a school bus. Um, that's kind of where we left off. Holy shit, does it get better? Um, this thing said he saw that had a big hole in the side. Uh, that was a electromagnetic plasma fusion, in parentheses, electric engine, was not only the size of a school bus, but it was also sentient. Yes, you heard me correctly. It was sentient. Um, and then it gets so much better and I had no idea about this part. This is all what I found out last night about 1 o'clock in the morning, going down the wormhole of David and Adir. Um, After this, the Area 51, the DOD, hires him as kind of like a consultant. At that point, he is now staying, mind you, this is at 17. He is now staying at Area 51 full time, consulting this technology. At this, then talks about when he was 5 years old. This is, I'm going to doing his story basically. Then really should, you know what? I should play it. I should play it. I words can't express what I was thinking. Because mind you, I now this guy is completely full of shit. Because in the what I'm gonna find right now, he also talks about he was 15 when it happened. Talks about an alien. Got to find it again. But he talks about 5 years old interacting with a alien named, I have it written down, Pithalum. Pithalum is also what he named his rocket. Find this interview. He claims that Pithalum came to him at 5 years old, then again at Area 51. Pithalum, the being, was there as a consultant. Pithalum, the being, is the way he was able to come up with the invention and applications that Adir was able to do. Basically, he states that him and Pithalum were a team, and without him, he doesn't know what he would. I gotta find this. I gotta find the interview. About 8 minutes long. Fucking greatest video I ever watched in my life. Found it. Share it on. And then everyone on YouTube, I'm gonna share it. You guys will be able to see everything. All right, so this is the interview that I watched last night. Fucking amazing. I don't know. Can't express. I'll let words speak for them.
Broke and they put you in the ground and that's it. Apparently that's not in the schedule for me, and it wasn't for me. It was for somebody else. But I just happened to be, I don't know, in the right place, right time, wrong place, wrong time. But I came up on this person when they were having their encounter. And I'm only 5, so I'm really small.
Of course, I have to accent.
So I, looking out the window, what's happening with the other person, and I thought, well, I'll open the door here. And when I opened the door about 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches, man, all I see is this glowing green eyeball. It's huge, and it's got like a fly eye. It's got prisms.
I think it's small. A lot better.
Actually, it's really pretty, but freaked me out. So I go to slam the door back, and when I slam the door back, the door then blows open. I'm hanging onto the edge of the door, so it throws me clear across the room, and I'm going to bounce off the ceiling on the other side of the room. So as I'm flying through, I'm thinking, boy, this is going to hurt. So right before I hit the ceiling, this arm comes in so fast. You know how a tongue on a lizard is so
Right.
well, it's that fast. It's just lightning speed. Catches me before I hit the ceiling, and I'm in its palm, and it pulls me back to it, then steps back, and then stands up, and it's taller than the house.
What is it?
It looks like a praying mantis. It's 4 legs, got these big round flaps that's moving as it's breathing. You can hear the breath going out of it. And it's looking at me, and it's got the triangle head, got some teeth like you wouldn't believe. Look like something from Predator, you know, it's just big.
Were you frightened?
Well, yeah, I'm freaked out, you know, but I didn't think it was going to kill me. I never was afraid of it like that. I'm just more concerned what's going on with the other.
It's better. I'm gonna kind of skip forward. That's his encounter
Everything
at
in the book,
5.
everything in every book. So she just grabs a book off the shelf, the Spectrum, and she just slams the book shut, and she goes, okay, so you do remember. How many of these books have you read in here, this science section? All of them. Here's 600 books, 606, actually. Well, if you want to read more, yeah, but, you know, I'm a 6-year-old in Welch, West Virginia in 1960. I said, not much is going to happen here for me. Have your mom bring you back at 7 o'clock. And she did. And that old woman turned me into a librarian. She made me a librarian. I could order books forever, as many as I could stand. And I went through 1,000 books in probably 2 years. And that was so cool. You know, it was Mrs. Hunt, and she had no idea what she unleashed on the world. You know, just a mind-hungry being that I was.
Did Groom Lake help also get you to these other programs?
I
Was
think
that the
they-
launching pad?
I
No
think they
pun
did
intended?
because, well, after age 17, I went in the Navy because they were trying to force me onto a track. And they forced me into the military, which to their surprise and my surprise most of all, that was the niche I was looking for. I excelled in the Navy. I went up 5 ranks in 4 years. So I was doing really well. And if I hadn't caused the injuries and stuff, I was doing in the field, because I really liked what I was doing. But it kept laying on, and the admiral called me in and said, you're resigning. Yeah, I am. I said, I'm just busted up too much to keep going. And he said, look at this on my desk. And he had a stack of papers a foot high. I asked him, what is that? And he said, these are job offers for you. And he said, it's everybody. It's every aerospace company in the book. And some of them we hadn't even heard of. On a layer effect, everything that the skills I've accumulated are going to come in handy for the next series of events that I'm doing. And
Can you discuss those events that?
When I should be retiring, I'm about to crank up probably the biggest adventure I've done yet. There's rumblings out there in the Middle East, and I've been emailing and talking to these people for the last 10 months. And at first I didn't know if this stuff was real or not, but there's ways of verifying things, which I did. And so now it looks like I'm on my way to become the director of the Middle East Space Program.
Well, congratulations.
I know.
What are their intentions and what are your intentions with this?
It's turning out our intentions are the same, which that's pretty crazy in itself, because I had some lofty intentions of doing some stuff. The emails that came to me said, we're willing to fund everything that you want to do. And I went, dude.
This is an amazing accomplishment of a mission. Like, how are you going to get this done? Are they giving you unlimited manpower and funding?
And money, yeah. Yes and yes. First project, going back to the moon.
Second project?
Next thing after that is, depending on what we discover at the moon, because the first 12 places that want to go on the moon are the 12 places NASA don't want us to go. The tower, the arch, the cannon, I don't know, it looks like a spacecraft slid in, somebody threw dirt up around it. Whatever that stuff is, I have no idea. I'm not going to say moon bases and aliens on it. It's just interesting stuff that should be looked at real close. Then after that, let's go after helium-3. China can't get it all. And while all that's going on, I've got hardening of the electric grids I'm doing, and not just the United States, but the whole planet. Thorium reactors. List just keeps going.
And all this stuff too can be utilized on the surface of Mars as well.
Absolutely.
It looks like it's a stage set and a demo operation, I would say, by listening to you, of actually planning this out to duplicate this elsewhere, I'll say.
Well,
Or a little bit. When you start
Well, it
talking
take-
about travel,
speed of light, 200 million years to get to another galaxy.
It's not
Well,
fun to
yeah.
do.
Well, I'll have you there in about 6 minutes. And without breaking the speed of light. It's answering Einstein's riddle. How you go millions of times faster speed of light without breaking it? Well, I can. When you hit phase 4 of Pithlum, that allows us to do it. What you would have is star travel.
Did you get this from Pithlum?
Yeah, sure did. Like I said, I'm good, but I'm not that good. I cheated. I got some help. And
Well, how do we do it in 6 minutes then?
okay, I wanted to point that part out. If you guys heard that, Pithlum, and that's the alien that he encountered at Area 51 that was consulting. He looks at him like a teen.
movie, which Sam Neill was in, called Event Horizon.
Sure. I've seen it.
That's my script. The part where the page, where you have, he holds up a page and
Folds it.
yeah, Milky Way here, Andromeda here, 200 million light years across the page. Shortest distance between 2 point straight line? No, it's not. What in space, with the advent of black holes, large magnetic fields of immense proportion, you can wrap the space around the spacecraft, and then this little edge that makes up the rolled up space, On a linear platform, that's all you're going to fly, just this narrow little edge. So about half light speed in about 6 minutes our time, you're through, turn off your engine, folds out to space, and you're at Andromeda Galaxy. It would have taken speed of light at 186,000 miles a second, 200 million years to get there. I got you there in 6 minutes at half light speed. It's not that hard, y'all. Pisum is the name of the rocket that I put on the rocket I built with Curtis LeMay. My mother came in having a dream. She saw it and saw a name on a rocket.
Okay. Sorry, I'm going to stop for a second.
Named Pisum. But come to find...
Okay. So, someone in the chat said it perfectly. A technical term for this man's condition, excuse me, is being full of shit. Okay, so yesterday, went down a logic path in blue. Let's get something straight. This guy claims to have built on the screen rocket. Not just any rocket, but a rocket with technology that our smartest minds currently can't figure out. Take that for face value. Now here's the second part to that. He didn't build and then go to White Sands, test it for the first time, and get it to hit Area 51 like asked on the first time. That being said, there is nowhere this man could have tested this rocket him and his 17-year-old friend built in a garage. That's problem one. So, that being said, I just wanted to say that. I'm going to finish it off. I think we've got another 2 minutes left. But right now, he's basically making the acknowledgement of this, that at 17, mind you, at 17, him and his friend built the rocket you see on the screen. Obviously, fiction. They named it Pithalum. Right? The alien he met later on didn't ever know this thing existed. The alien he met at Area 51 that helps him with this innovative technology that they're coming up with at Area 51 and what he's specifically doing, he says him and the alien are like a team. I'll finish it off. And I'll shut up and...
I doubt that the name of the entity I encountered in Area 51, its name is Pithalum. Things I always question or wonder about, which I don't get answers on. What's going to happen when they show up and she leaves? You know, do I become a dull person, or what happened? Or do I become a different being? Or God, who knows? Let's just wait and find out.
Let's just wait and see. That's part of the adventure.
It is that. And
yeah, so that's pretty much the part of that. There we go. Yeah, so that was great. What's up, Sasha? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Enjoying myself at the moment. Yeah, that guy. Wow.
Yeah, accidentally invented fusion power and didn't tell anyone.
Well, that
Everything sold the energy crisis. Forgot to mention it.
Yeah, everything about that is. Now, I still, and if you're out there, Daryl, I'd love to talk to you about this. I like to understand where your perception of the guy is. I look, because here's why, and it's a call out. It's not a call out. Take it as a call out. But I know he has the opinion that flat earthers irritate him because they're not willing to objectively look at evidence. I'm not going to say correctly, just look at evidence. And yesterday, again, I didn't find, I had no idea who David Adair was until I had brought him up. So just in my 2 days, I can't. I just want to see where his path. Maybe I don't know something. Yeah, but other than that, I thought that was entertaining. I want to do. I know I wanted to ask. What the fuck is helium-3?
It would be a level of electron, but
Helium-3 is an isotope of helium.
yeah.
It's helium normally has 2 protons, 2 electrons. Sorry, 2 protons, 2 neutrons. Helium-3 has 3 neutrons.
Okay, I see. So, what is the advantage of?
It is used in a bunch of nuclear science. It has it captures neutrons a little bit better, so it's used in a bunch of like neutron scattering experiments. It is quite rare, although it is stable, so it doesn't decay. But there's not very much of it, and the theory for nuclear fusion is that with helium-3, it's a little bit easier to initiate a nuclear fusion reaction. The problem basically for nuclear fusion is that you have to overcome what's called a Coulombic barrier. So you basically have to smash the protons together, or the positively charged nuclei against their will, right? Both nuclei of atoms are positively charged, so they want to, by Coulombic forces, by electrostatic forces, they basically want to repel each other. So you basically have to heat them up sufficiently such that they are flying so fast that you overcome that repulsive force. With helium-3, nuclei are heavier, so they have to carry a bunch more momentum, and they capture a little bit more easily, so you don't need as much heat. It's still going to be millions and millions of degrees, but it's not quite as high of an ignition temperature as for like deuterium, tritium fusion.
Okay, my next question is this then. Go ahead, Sasha.
Just small correction. 2 protons, 1 neutron, not 2 neutrons.
Right, yeah, it's the other way around, yeah.
And that's special because it's the only stable element or isotope of an element with more protons than neutrons, which allows you to do that fusion reaction.
Yeah, you need 1 neutron to mediate the strong interaction, but 1 neutron is enough for 2 protons, yeah.
So the limited supply. I'm doing a logic path. So helium-3 is on Earth. It's on Earth. We can find it, but it's limited, right?
Yes, it is only a small proportion of the helium that we have.
Okay. Now,
Of which we already don't have all that much.
Would this be something that would be probably readily available either one of these 2 places? Antarctica and space.
Antarctica, no, not really. Helium, the way we find it usually is you find it near deposits of uranium because it is essentially alpha radiation that has been given off by uranium decay over over essentially millions of years of the uranium slowly decaying. You basically accumulate pockets of helium, which is the alpha particles that have captured a couple of electrons and become helium.
That's the gas that starts seeping away from whatever.
Yes. Yeah, so typically the way that you extract helium is when you mine for things like natural gas. So that's why when you find pockets of helium, essentially, that's how we mostly get it. In space, it is believed that a significant amount of helium-3 is locked up in lunar regolith. So basically, like the rocks on the surface of the moon, rather than like the dust, essentially, or maybe a little bit below the surface.
Or an asteroid. Or perhaps an asteroid
could be as well. Yeah. And by significant amounts, we're still talking parts per million, but at least it's not, you know, in the fractions of a parts per billion, which is the way we find it here on Earth. So there was some, especially in the 80s and 90s, when there was a lot of hypothesization that we're going to be doing like moon mining and stuff for resources, for like the run fusion reactors, you know, the whole sci-fi thing. The idea was to go to the moon to mine helium-3 to run our nuclear fusion reactors. In fact, it was that movie, I think in like 2005 or whatever. It's called Moon, and that's one of the premises is that there was a guy on the moon who was mining moon regolith for helium-3.
I'm gonna take you on a conspiracy ride with me. What if I told you that that is primarily Space Force? The main goal of Space Force is that in
What, to mine the moon for helium-3, or to like just go space mining in general?
space mining. We'll say space mining in general because that would encompass them.
Okay, doesn't
And
seem to be in the charter.
Here's why.
Or any,
So we know for a fact it is their interest, right? This isn't a secret. United States, China specifically, they want to mine asteroids. They want to be able. They've already shown us that they can. They want to be able to divert asteroids, not away from us, but a little closer. This is common knowledge. Now, what is one thing that is always correlated with any mining operation? I don't care in any country. Military. Militaries protect the things, whether it's Africa, Russia, you know, with all these real big diamond mines that are rare minerals and gases, stuff like that. Militaries protect those things.
yeah, sure, but what are the adversaries in space? Like Martians or what?
Each other. Space Force does not protect the Earth. They protect only the United States. They're only for the United States.
Yes, the Space Force is primarily concerned really with spying on Earth powers. Like they basically operate GPS. They operate a bunch of the surveillance satellites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They were a pet project of the president.
Yeah, no, there are no there. Yeah, Space Force doesn't have space battleships with guns on them.
Not yet.
They were
Wait. That's actually not true. The X-13 I would consider to be. The reason I say this is primarily for this. It's cheaper to have had Space Force the way it was, and you heard me correctly. It was cheaper for Space Force to be how it was before Trump made it an actual branch. It is now more expensive to run Space Force. And I say that because Space Force is not new. It's just now a branch.
Yeah, and that's not a conspiracy. That's just
that's just reality. Yeah.
definitely in the White House.
Okay, I can show you. I can show you sites around the world that you can go to yourselves that are run by space agencies for the military. That they look for space debris. For everything.
Well, they do a lot of things, but like to imply any kind of nefarious purpose to it, I think you're stretching it way too far.
That's not. Wait. Mining isn't nefarious. That's just reality.
I mean, sort of covert operations of that sort. The notion of even mining asteroids is highly tenuous. Like essentially, most asteroids out there, by and large, are trash. Like they're basically rock, a little bit of iron, some polluted water, and water ice. That's about it. So I mean, you're talking about going out to space at enormous expense just to collect trash. So what would be the point? The value of mining space objects is fairly questionable at best. Like you have to get something extremely valuable, like helium-3, perhaps, out of it that might maybe pay off, but that is highly experimental and highly, I would say, hypothetical.
Oh yeah, what if they're only in the starting stages. I think because let's really keep something real though, right? The asteroid thing they did, where they intersected it and set off call it an Armageddon type scenario, right? That's basically what we can compare it to. That was for one or two things: either to get closer for mining, or divert if something bad, right? With that,
Oh, that's actually quite a valuable function to have.
I agree, 100%. Now, again, that's why I don't think it's nefarious. I don't. I think if they do decide to start mining, they're going to be needed there, right? Like, let's keep it real. If they were like, "Hey, we found a shit ton of helium-3, we can fucking start doing some fusion," it makes sense. Not nefarious. I don't think it's nefarious at all. But more importantly, when we start talking about Mars, we start talking about asteroids, we start talking about the moon. Now we're starting to talk about getting to Mars. If we want to go to Mars, we're going to need a colony on the moon. A colony is not, this is everyone, the colony is not a population of civilians. A colony is just a settlement for someone, because that will be the launch pad for Mars, right? So, and if the second they put a container, some type of biodome, terraforming thing, they're going to have a military protecting it. Military will be there.
I think you're putting the cart way before the horse.
Absolutely. Hey, just remember, I told you I was taking you down my my conspiratorial path, right? This is absolutely I am. But this is reality. I haven't said anything far fetched.
It's important to remember we have civilian collaborations with other countries like the ISS, where the military does not have a huge, if any, presence, and are
Nah, that's not true.
and are well, and to a large extent, our at least deep space exploration, like beyond Earth's orbit, is a civilian arm of the government. It is not a military branch of the government through NASA, not through the Air Force or the Space Force, because those all operate in Earth to deep Earth orbit.
Yeah, that was the entire point of founding NASA, right? Is to make space exploration not a thing of the military, because before, like 1958, it was when NASA was founded. Before that, space exploration was largely done by the Air Force.
Yeah, but see, here's the issue with what you're saying. Yes, they made it a civilian entity centrally. With I mean, it's, let's make it clear. It is, we all do understand it is very heavily military influenced. Is probably the best way of saying it. They have carte blanche on everything that has to do with space exploration with NASA. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that SpaceX probably has some deal with our DoD or etc. That if they need help or they need a spy satellite up, etc., no questions.
No, not really. Well, for spy satellites, obviously, spy satellites are military payloads. So obviously, that's literally called a DoD mission because they're the customer. But when you're putting up civilian payloads, no, you do not deal with the DoD. You deal with the FAA and NASA.
Or it's NOAA. Or
NOAA is a customer for payloads, but no, the FAA is primarily for certifying like the ground support part, and NASA is going to be for certifying the orbital parameters and insertion to make sure you don't hit something else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, the problem with what you're saying is I have evidence that they have a lot more to do. Have you ever heard the document called the Secret Relationship Between NASA and the DoD?
Nope. And I would like to see that evidence presented.
Awesome. Okay. I will get. So what it is, and this is all official documents involving our the shuttle missions builds. Basically what it is a documentation of the coordinated design of our shuttles the funding of our shuttle missions, landing, takeoff, the shuttle itself, the design, which had to meet DoD standards
Well,
to
yeah,
be able to
that's
fit.
that
Okay,
that is
yeah,
well known.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. So then you have a good idea what I'm talking about. Then.
Although I
But
know that the shuttle was co-designed by, like, the requirements for the shuttle design were also supplied by the DoD because they wanted to be a shuttle customer and they had a very specific mission profile in mind.
Mhm.
And since the U.S. government was bankrolling the whole thing, obviously they were going to roll their own requirements into the launch system.
yeah,
Like one of the dumbest pieces of design that the shuttle had was to be able to do a launch, spy satellite deployment and recover the shuttle within a single orbit, so it wouldn't even complete a full single orbit,
yeah.
which is a feature that never was actually employed. But that kind of drove a lot of the design elements of why the shuttle was shaped the way it was. That doesn't really mean that when you go as a private launch company, as a private launch contractor to space, that you have to deal with the DoD. You don't.
But no, you kind of do. And here's why. In those documents, this is the important. One of the stipulations to building, and this is one of the stipulations to building a launch pad, because launch pads for the shuttle were paid fully by DoD. Was that they kind of like a timeshare? They get every schedule, every date, and actually one of the things that actually did have to do through that is you have to go through the DoD to make sure that any shuttle mission didn't affect anything that they had going on. And if
Well,
something
yeah.
came up, yeah, and if something came up that they were able to scrub any civilian mission at any point. It didn't matter to them. These were stipulations for them to pay anything for it. Like there's in the documentations, there's conversations of threats not to pay if they don't do this or that or agree to this or
So
that.
So you're
During,
using their
during
facilities.
Yeah.
They get to give conditions. That's
Mhm.
pretty normal.
Yeah.
That
Well,
sharing
that's nothing.
airspace is not that much of an influence. It's just saying like if we have a mission going on in the sky, please don't launch. It's
Yeah.
not like they're
it's
affecting space operations or operations on the moon by regulating when and where you can launch because they may or may not have operations going on the ground.
no.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hang
At
on.
the
Hang
end
on.
of the day,
Wait. Hang on. Hang on.
airspace and launch
Hang on.
facilities are a shared resource.
Hang on. Let me still man what you just said, Sasha, so I make sure I heard it correct. You just said that they don't they don't have to coordinate. Like if Joe Smo company wants to set up a satellite to survey land, they don't have to coordinate to make sure that they don't have anything going on and not seen. Or you think they
I,
did?
I was talking about like space exploration, like beyond Earth's satellites, like to the moon, to Mars. The military is very little. That's all civilian. The military has interest in satellites because it wants to know how it's going to affect its strategic interests.
I want to look that up. See what you're saying, and it makes sense. Well, I could while I'm looking at, I could definitely say having a space force that polices space will change that. Oh, it says
It
okay. So I
doesn't
typed
really
in
police. Nations have no territorial claim or claims of jurisdiction in outer space. That's
yet,
simply not the case.
yet.
It's well, Um, of course, we shall see. Nobody can predict the future, but as of yet, they do not, and so therefore, Space Force does not police anything. All they do is basically operate their spy satellite network, look down on the ground, and pass information on to like the enforcement parts of the government apparatus. When you're talking about like military stuff, but other than that, Space Force, like, there's not guys running around the moon with M16s.
Well, I believe that there are guys in low space orbit just in case. No, see, okay. Let me clarify because I don't want to go nutter on you guys. That's ridiculous. I don't even agree with what I was about to say. Okay, I think that Space Force, right? I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Space Force probably has crafts in space. Oh, I know they have crafts in space for any situation. I'll give you a situation. X-13 is a DARPA shuttle that is in space as we speak, chilling. It's able to change its orbital path. It's able to change its elevation away from Earth's gravitational pull at any whenever it needs to. Not UFO like, but it's able to do these things, which is not traditional to like what the ISS is doing.
Disagree there, but okay.
Which part?
The fact that changing your orbital trajectory is not traditional. It is pretty normal. It's a question of like how you've designed your spacecraft, and there's a very limited amount of maneuverability that spacecraft have on changing their orbital parameters. Like you can raise your orbit, you can lower your orbit. You know, whatever, the ISS does that
Slightly
every week.
Slightly wobble out to the other away, right? The ISS
Very
can.
slowly, extremely slowly. And by the way, even Starlink satellites do that. There are types of orbits you can enter into where the orbit will slowly process into a set of target orbital parameters, and then you can do a little burn and basically stabilize your new like inclination parameters and that kind of stuff. So the satellites do maneuver in space. It's just a matter of like, do you need to? Like, is that your goal?
Yes, but again, this X-13, yeah, try to get.
Yeah. There was a space plane,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep, it is capable. So if it's okay, this is the best way of explaining it, and I don't know that it does this exactly, but this is the way it's kind of described. Obviously, you know what a polar launch is. SpaceX does it
Sure.
when they go out of LA.
Everybody does it, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. Different reason. Okay, so once you go off a polar launch, you are in a set orbit.
No.
That can precess.
You're talking about a sun-synchronous orbit.
Yes.
Like, sun-synchronous orbit is a very specific orbit where the orbit will precess along, usually it's aligned to the Terminator, day-night Terminator line. But
yeah, so basically
over
time, basically so everyone understands, over time, if you put like a shaded mark over everywhere that orbit was, over time, it would shade over a whole area over Earth. It just processes along with it.
Not quite the entire planet, but yeah, there's about a 10-degree spot at the poles where it will not quite reach.
Yeah, if it ran for 100,000 years, it would.
Not even then. Well,
really?
I mean, then it would probably just get perturbed and then slowly decay or go wherever it wobbles.
I was playing hypothetical, but
sure,
yes.
Yeah. So it's very good for spy satellites. Yes, or if you want to be more generous, Earth observation satellites.
Okay, actually, I'm happy you said it. So this is exactly what I believe, and this is what I believe, not a fact anymore. I believe that the X-13 is up there for this purpose. I know you're not going to like this. I feel that it is more than capable of having a laser weapon device up there that is capable of basically intercepting spy satellites. And this is what I meant by changing its orbit. If China has one over fucking Canada, and its orbit is currently, the X-13's orbit is currently like over South America, within how do I say this? Because I don't want to make it sound very quickly, untraditionally, it could get to that orbital. It could intersect that orbit faster than pretty much anything that we understands up there right now. Satellites, ISS, etc.
Not a chance.
Why?
Because of the laws of orbital mechanics, it's simply not possible to change your orbital plane or altitude or position along the orbit in a very fast manner. The X-13 simply does not have enough fuel and or propulsive capability to affect that kind of a thing. Well, first of all, inclination changes of any sizable magnitude require huge amounts of fuel if you want to get them done quickly. If you want to get them done slowly, like if you're willing to wait a couple of weeks or a couple of months, then you can slowly change most inclinations to most inclinations, but, well, within limits. But if you want to just quickly jaunt over somewhere within like a half hour, that would need an enormous amount of fuel. More, I can guarantee you, more than the X13 can carry.
Okay, I fucked up. It's not the X13. It's my bad. It's called the Phantom Express shuttle. I fucking apologize. I'm looking at it right now. I'll put the link. It's DARPA's shuttle. Have you seen it's I just put it in the chat. Seen this? That's my bad, everybody. 100% my bad.
I am not aware of this project. Stand by. Has this even flown?
Yep, they're already in. The first model of this was DARPA had a shuttle that was capable of doing everything our shuttles missions were able to do. They didn't use it very often, and wasn't a public thing because probably they used it for their super secret type satellite mission, whatever, blah blah blah. But they have always had a shuttle. This one is next level.
You've pasted a Bing search. Doesn't really come up with anything.
Well, you know what? I'm using fucking Microsoft Edge right now because my Chrome throttles me out too much.
Firefox is like, baby.
I'll do is I'll put it on my phone. I put it because I've and that's just the link. I'll find the more relevant one talking about. I just wanted to get you just so you could have at least the overview. X-37B, the one that
The X-37 is just a little space plane that went into the nose fairing of a rocket, wasn't it?
yeah, that's the one that they built in 2010, I think. That's the older one. That's like the predecessor, like the one, this new DARPA one. DARPA has.
Well, I can tell you that the X-37, from what I can see there, it's just basically a little space plane. That's about it. It doesn't really have any magic on it.
Shuttle. That one's just,
Oh, it's a shuttle is more of a name of a function. It's a little orbital vehicle that has wings. Yeah, that's about all.
yeah. Well, so everyone knows it's launched by a scramjet. It's not.
Oh no. It's launched by a rocket, not by a scramjet.
Same thing.
Not even close.
They launch it as if it's coming. No, wait.
A scramjet is very different.
Like a shuttle.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's launched on top of a Atlas rocket, so it goes into the nose fairing of an Atlas rocket and goes into space like that. It's a conventional rocket engine, not a scramjet. A scramjet is a very different thing.
Yeah, the scramjet is basically what you strap to it, but when it takes off a plane.
No. Scramjet is a supersonic combustion ramjet. Is a type of propulsion that is an air-breathing engine.
I'm thinking about the ram. Okay, right. I mixed something up. Right.
Yeah, okay. It goes on top of a normal rocket. That's all.
But the concept is this. That's okay.
Well, yeah, shuttle went off. The idea with the shuttle was essentially to reuse the orbiter and the boosters. And the theory was that that would lower access to lower the cost of access to space, which didn't really pan out. But you know,
Go back to what we were saying. I'm going to bring it back full because that's what it was. Well,
the
okay.
fact
Well,
of the matter
I
remains.
will absolutely concede to the whole space thing with the lasers and all that. I'll concede right now for that because I fucked up with the name. But
Now
I
the
still think that is
lasers thing.
viable.
The lasers thing is actually one of the least preposterous, I would say, claims here, or the least out of the ordinary claims. Those, I'm pretty sure they're either have been experimented on, or some might have been deployed, not for the purposes of like firing lasers like the Death Star. They're mostly meant for overwhelming the optics of spy satellites, or overwhelming the thermal solutions, that kind of stuff.
They are
So
they're capable of right now. They are primarily used to take down drones. That is their primary function. But they are every year they are increasing the strength and capability of those things. They have
yes.
exercise videos showing you them penetrating steel. They are definitely their kill rate is.
You mean? Oh, I was talking about deployments in space for the purposes of like blinding an adversary's space surveillance technology, that kind of stuff, or their navigational systems.
Well, I was talking about direct energy weapon, basically.
Yes,
which
direct.
would be the
So
same
on
thing.
the there definitely is going to be quite a bit of overlap with the technology, and directed energy weapons are definitely a thing, and definitely being looked at to deal with things like drone swarms and low-cost cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, that kind of stuff. So there definitely is that is no joke. Those technologies are real, and they're not at all being kept secret. They're like sure the details are being kept secret, like how it's done, because obviously you don't want to put cutting-edge technology out into the open. But the fact that the states have the ability to manufacture and deploy directed energy weapons, that's no secret. Like, it's openly admitted.
My favorite one that I found, and I mind you, I've been talking about this for many years. I started talking about it when Raytheon came out with their compact version of it for the Apache, and everyone was like, "Bullshit." I'm like, "Dude, stop calling bullshit on stuff you haven't heard about." But yeah, they have them on basically everything you can think of now. They're putting these weapons on them. Like they have them for the Hummers now. They have them for AWACSs now. They have them for battleships. Battleships are where they started, really. But yeah, they're using them everywhere, man.
Warships, yeah. Yes, there are perhaps goals to make sure you're not confusing directed energy weapons and things like jammers, because jammers are a much more low tech or low energy type of weapon against drones, and they're quite effective. So that is a different thing to directed energy weapons. Like if you're trying to burn through a drone to make it fall out of the sky, that requires quite a beefy power supply. Whereas by comparison, if you just trying to jam the radio signals on the thing, you can do that. You can do that with a piece of kit that basically fits in your pocket.
Yeah, that's very easy. I consider it to be like one more of like a scrambler, like a censoring type thing, like your controller. Whereas what we're talking about directed is actually the destruction of an object, literally taking it out of the sky, basically.
Could be, or you could damage some sensors on it. Anyway, you can achieve a mission, a hard kill, a soft kill, any kind.
The last I heard on it was, and this was probably about a few years ago. And mind you, everything I do see about these things, I automatically assume, and I think logically automatically is that they're far advanced than what they're telling us. I think they were at, I think it was 6 seconds to penetrate. I think it was like a 3-inch steel or something like that. It was like a exercise on a tank armor or something. But I think it was that very short spurts, so it wasn't effective as the way they explained it, and they were working on it.
3 inches of armor, maybe, but that would require a power supply much larger than the tank itself. That is a non-trivial amount of
No,
not
yeah,
trivial amount
it
of
wasn't.
energy you need.
Yeah, it wasn't. No. What I watched, it wasn't mounted on anything. It wasn't like this is on our tank. No. It was in a
Right, yeah.
lab. It was
It's
during
a test
testing
rig, yeah.
phases of the. Yeah, 100%.
I'm sort of the opposite of your stance there, that they're much more advanced, that they're telling us. I'm sort of on the opposite side of the spectrum, is that companies like to promote their tech quite a bit further than it actually can reach. And before an actual weapon systems gets deployed on scale in the military, it probably has gone through at least 5 years of large scale testing before it ever gets adopted. And so, frequently, it doesn't even get adopted ever at all. Like, there's
Yeah,
plenty
but
of weapon systems out there that are seemingly amazing and absolutely within our reach. And the military says, okay, yeah, that's a cool idea, but it doesn't. When we actually tested the prototype, it fell apart in these 20 different ways, and it just doesn't really work for us. So you can go ahead and can the project.
but
Many more projects get canned than the ones that actually get deployed.
the most important part about that is that on those projects, most of them. I'm not going to say much. Scratch that last comment. I would say that the issue would be that on a lot of those military issued contracts, there are gag orders on those. So any advancement of technology easily would not be out there. It wouldn't be promoted.
Yeah, not really a gag order. It's more like a classification. But yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm sort of skeptical on high tech being deployed widely without our knowledge is because I've seen plenty of military procurement programs that have gone absolutely nowhere, and that was not for new tech. That was for stuff that is old, like the B-52s, right? The big strategic bombers with the 8 engines. They've been trying to get a engine replacement program going for these things since the 80s. Now, finally, after 40 fucking years, they finally agreed upon who's going to be doing it and when. There's been no less than at least 3 different replacement programs studied, tens of millions of dollars of various contracts awarded for testing and evaluation, and there's been meetings upon meetings upon meetings until somebody finally said, okay, now this is actually the way we're going to go. And it's not like we've not known how to make jet engines since the 80s. That's the well-known technology. It's just they couldn't really agree on how to get it done because there was always some fly in the ointment.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate on. You agree that what the F-35 lowball, this isn't really advanced, but run with me. The F-35 was probably thought of, designed, being tested long before we, the public, could fathom a jet that was able to agree with that statement.
I don't know. You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific than that. The F-35 has been in development since at least the late 80s.
Yes, but the capabilities of it, what a jet. Okay, I guess the best way to be the first time a hovercraft, not a hovercraft, a Harrier jet,
Mm-hmm.
a Harrier jet came out. To us, the public, that was far fetched. A jet that takes off like a helicopter, but it became a reality when they released it.
You'd be surprised how old that idea is. That idea is from the 40s.
You stop stomping on my think tank.
I apologize, but those are reality. Unfortunately, it can be a cold shower. But no, vertical takeoff and landing has been it's been studied since. I mean, the freaking Nazis have done it probably in the 30s. So it's not like it was a novel idea when somebody came around to actually getting it done. It was mostly a matter of like working out all the kinks and little details on how to actually design an aircraft that is practicable. But the idea itself of like vertical flight and helicopters and jet aircraft that could take off and convert, that's been around for a very long time.
Fine. How about this? Stealth cloaking.
Stealth, you mean like radar stealth or visible cloaking devices like Star Trek?
I'm going to say, I was going to say stealth, radar stealth, but now I'm going to say actual optical stealth.
I mean, there are some lab experiments with a few fancy mirrors and cameras, but I don't think that's ever been deployed anywhere.
Oh,
not like Star
ready?
Trek, I can tell you that.
You're right. Okay. So there is, and again, this isn't Matt. This is for everyone. I know you rationally understand what I'm about. This isn't Star Trek. What I'm about to say, not magic or nothing like. There actually is that it's like a mylar material that they actually have started issuing to troops that use it in the field.
That's thermal.
No, nope. This is something that if you are looking at an object that has this material over them, it diffracts the light, so the surrounding light kind of fills in that space, and it literally blends in with the background due to the material.
I would like to see that because I know about these mylar sheets that are used for vehicles, and it's usually shown in an infrared camera.
Yeah, those are
And
badass.
when somebody puts that over themselves, they kind of disappear. But really, what they're doing is just reflecting the surrounding heat.
Yes,
And
actually,
it has very limited applicability, by the way, because it gets heat saturated underneath.
They have them on tanks now, or actually, they've had them on tanks for a long time now. But they have them on tanks.
Yes, they are, but they're very limited in terms of scope of use. Like you can't use them for a very long time because you will heat saturate underneath.
Okay, I see. After a
You
while, you start seeing
after a while,
fade back
you basically you start radiating yourself.
Oh,
So
okay.
it works for like maybe 20, 30 minutes, but afterwards you basically got to ventilate.
Would there be a way to put a cooling system under it, under the tiles?
I'm sure they've done something, but at the end of the day, the engine exhaust has got to go somewhere.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're. I mean, it's still badass though. You gotta admit that. Make a tank look like a fucking car or a cow. Pretty badass.
Absolutely, and especially when you're operating at night, when the enemy has thermal optics and they can't see or can't distinguish or properly identify the target. Absolutely, that gives you a massive advantage. Especially where, like, it's got to be obvious at short ranges, but it's something if you're looking through like a VGA, like a 640 by 480 infrared sensor at 2 kilometers. If that is the amount of deception you're looking for, and that's the amount of deception you get, absolutely, that gives you a battle advantage.
Now, Sean, nobody's going to run from a cow or a car. Show them M1 Abrams, and they're going to be scared shitless.
Well, I think that's why the competition or the other guys came up with it. It's not because it's not American.
Here's what we need to do. We need to make cows look like M1 Abrams.
Well, that's another way to go. I mean, you have inflatable tanks. Those things exist. You can put one in your backyard.
Hell yeah.
But the idea is so that you don't get shot at, basically. Because I'm always coming back to a quote from the Chieftain on YouTube. He's a former U.S. tanker. And he always has this quote that with the state of modern ballistic computers and the state of modern targeting systems, if you can see it, you can hit it. And if you can hit it, you can kill it. So the idea is that if you can avoid it, not be seen, but if you do get seen, preferably if they misidentify you as something harmless, like just a guy in a truck, good stuff, they might ignore you. Instead, if they see an Abrams, hell yeah, you're going to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, so I just put it in the chat. The link, it's like a news story, an article about it. There's a couple of videos but yeah, it's a real thing. They definitely use them. And like you said, it's absolutely to an extent. If you're, I think if you're 10 feet away, you fucking know right away. But it is cloaking. I'll put that in the chat. So. Right there. And then I know they tested using this material with tanks. It works with tanks. Here's the problem with the tanks. The way they explained it is one, it doesn't work when a tank's moving.
Yeah, that's one of the like I noticed what it is.
Yeah.
I know what this type of material is. It's basically just a heavily diffracting type of glass. It's like a Fresnel lens.
Yes.
This is
this is actually they use this primarily now for basically when they're in wartime situations and it's rest time or it's refuel
Sure.
time.
Yeah, yeah, you can use it as camo. One of the problems with this material is you have to have quite a lot of separation between the object and the actual like the surface
The
which is covered
background.
in it. So you can't stick it on the surface of a tank because it's not going to do anything. It would
Yeah,
probably have to be about a 50 to 100 feet away from the tank, and covering quite a bit more than the
yeah,
tank in order to disperse the light such that the tank would basically disappear from behind it. It also doesn't give a clear view of the background. It basically just disperses into
yeah.
like a distorted image. It
That's
works. I mean,
why.
if you're
Yeah, that's
trying to
why
if you're trying to
if you go
detect it
from a
from a drone,
distance, yeah, if you go from a distance, that because basically what it is when this is for everyone else. When you watch a movie and you see that stupid green screen, digital enhanced background, and you're like, "Oh, that looks fake." If you get, I would agree what by anything inside 20 feet, it's like it looks ridiculous. It would probably look, in my opinion, like a TV screen that's going all squiggly. I think I've never seen it. That's what I would imagine happening.
you know what this reminds me of? This is essentially frosted glass that you have on a bathroom. Like you can't see if you imagine like if you had a shower, if you had a stand-up shower and you had this kind of glass on it, and those exist, you're not really able to identify the person within it. And if the shower was bigger, you'd not be even able to tell that there's a person there, but you're still able to tell that there's a shower there. But if it was surrounded by foliage and stuff, perhaps you would not be able to easily identify what you're looking at, especially if you're looking for something in a larger area.
Yeah,
Like
that
if you're
like in that web, the link, that picture that comes up, the little thumbnail. Notice like light is already bouncing its ass off everywhere, right? Shade, there's light parts, there's bright grass, like light's already going everywhere, so it helps that situation. But I think if let's say you're in front of a red wall, there may be a problem.
also it was quite misleading in that article where they've put like the lady with the lower part of her gone. That's just photoshopped. That's not what it
Yeah.
would look like.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like. I've seen it in real. It works. It would work. It works really well if you're in like a field, dirt, grass field.
Sure.
That's like the time it would
We're in a
work.
tree line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the same concept as zebras. Zebras are herd animals. There's stripes when they're all together; they look like one big thing. Well, it's the same type thing. It's just a confusion of the eyes, or how
Sure.
it plays on the confusion your eyes have with
Yeah.
light.
I wouldn't call this though sort of like a Klingon cloaking device. This is very different. And
Very.
even still, like even if you had this like developed as a kit to place onto a tank in motion, I can guarantee you that the military would evaluate it and probably give it a no thanks. No, we don't need this.
No, 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 no,
Give
no, no. They do use it. They like I
uh,
said, the
for
refueling
some
missions.
purposes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Not. It's not. Definitely not during battle. I don't. Fuck no. No, that's not. They're not David Blaine. What the fuck?
Imagine carrying 100-foot shed of this material all over your tank while you're moving. It would look very
It's
comical. It'd probably just get caught on something and fall apart.
be funny if that happened, and you see like like the front part of the tank, but then the back of it just looks like the wavy earth under it. It's like actually waving like a flag. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? Got a problem, sir.
Have you seen some of the barn tanks that the Russians have started deploying, where they literally weld like a giant barn all over the tank? It's like you're looking like a
Yeah,
goddamn cornfield is running at you.
that shit's crazy. Oh, back. I was gonna say something earlier about you said of Russia. Um, when it came to the technology part, you're absolutely right because Russia, China were supposed to be the number one hypersonic missile development countries right now, and then Russia fired their first hypersonic missiles. They suck.
Yeah,
They they were
yeah, they those militaries are kind of really famous for these kinds of Potemkin village kind of demonstration where they'll put some rockets on carriers and parade them around in the street, make everybody think that they're very strong. But when it actually comes to practical deployment, you realize that the technology has truckloads of bugs, truckloads of issues, and just it doesn't work in the real field. And that's one of the reasons why the militaries do not adopt new technologies whenever they immediately come around, is because they'll evaluate them for practicality, and you figure out that, hey, this shit doesn't really work in the real world. So
Well, remember this too, people. I say people, not you. I'm pretty sure you're. I would say 90% of everything have buy that makes our life easier or effective. It doesn't matter. Most of that goes to the military sector. They're like the real fucking guinea pigs for this. Like they're like the last line before they decide whether or not they want to take it and never give it to the public, or it's ready for the public. It all gets tested through. I found that out when I worked on Camp Pendleton.
perhaps, yeah, it could be. I mean, they are willing to finance very commercially non-viable experimental technologies. So yes, absolutely.
But for them, the important part is what if? What if that pointless thing could actually advance our military? They don't want to. They don't want someone else to get it. Because when they do get those things, they do actually do sign clause that no one else. They can't sell those things to other people. Exclusive for us.
Yeah, in some cases, technologies, yes. Not all of them, though.
No,
So
not
things
all.
like semiconductor technology is far more advanced in the civilian sector than it is in the military. Anything the military can
Yeah.
get, civilians can get for a fraction of the price and probably better. So it's not like the militaries have access to like better semiconductor fabrication technologies. No, the stuff that is out on the civilian market that has like TSMC has their 3 nanometer process, that is cutting edge for everybody. It's like the best thing humanity can make.
Yeah, but the problem is the second the military realizes that they can be more advanced than the other guys, if they have this, they'll stop it. They'll cut it off and make it there. Not make it there. Make it there in their.
It's at that point, it's mostly a matter of like government export regulations. So, for example, the U.S. government heavily regulates who can export photolithography machinery for making semiconductors into which countries and under what conditions.
They're actually going through a big discussion right now about that.
Yes.
I'm not sure if people know this. Don't Homeland Security actually has a YouTube channel for all of this, so not speculation. Right now it is a very big issue with the United States Homeland Security companies that work with certain companies in China, to the point where they are trying to pass bills right now that specifically say you cannot work with these companies because they are basically adversaries. They are trying to data mine and et cetera, et cetera. Here's the issue I have, because they're okay with trading and et cetera with other Chinese companies. Every company in China is the government's company. That's how China works. So if you're trading and doing investments with one shady company, and then you can't play ball with them because they're shady. You can go ahead and play ball with them. You're playing ball with the same person, the same government, the same entity. That's what's weird to me. It really is all or nothing if you're going to play this China game. What they're doing is they're trying to save face so that when shit hits the fan, World War III, another speculation I have will happen. They just want to make sure they still have supply. When that happens, we're going to be at shit. But everything's going to go up in prices. It's not going to be trade with China. China don't give a fuck. China does trade with everyone else in the world.
China kind of actually do give a fuck, because the entire Western Bloc basically acts mostly in unison, and China will care if the majority of their market suddenly evaporates. That will be an economic catastrophe for them as well. So that's what kind of holds the thing down and keeps them from acting out too much.
to an extent. The problem is what they're willing to do is crush that deal. And I say
Yeah,
that with
it's a,
like Taiwan. Taiwan is the example. And it's been a situation for people that don't know for probably over the past 20, 25 years, and more than that, but 20, 25 years, where China's starting to play the chess game. They're going, if they invade Taiwan, all relation with China ends. Why? Because the United States is committed to defending Taiwan. There is no, we'll think about it. There's no, we can't because of trade. There's no this. We have a obligation to defend Taiwan. And if China invades, we are going to war with China. That's the beginning of World War III.
so that's why there's hoping that the cooler heads will prevail.
True. The problem is that, and like this is my again my opinion, like the Afghanistan war, it's going to be a battle with two different ethical and moral obligations. Um, we were fighting in Afghanistan. It was a holy war. Their reason for fighting was different from our reason for fighting. Their reason for fighting validates a war that could last forever. Our methods of fighting are to end a war. They do not comply. That's why we had to back out, and that's why we lost so many, because we have two different ideals about how a war is. That's the same thing with China. China's not going. Well, China's going in because of the microchips and all that kind of stuff, all that economic stuff. But rightfully, in their brain, Taiwan is China's. United States influence there is not okay. And that mindset is different from a war that we would be having with them.
Well, sort of. The problem is that for the Taiwanese, yes, they do view themselves as Chinese, but the difference is, for them it will also be an existential war, so they will not stop either. And conquering such a large island is a non-trivial job, even for somebody as big as China.
Well, again, that still puts us in a predicament, because the United States is not set up for that type of war. We are not set up to fight to the death. We're not set up to fight a war till the other person gives up and gives it. Our method, our mentality, go in a conflict, and that if either side thinks that way, we're just going into a pointless war, a war that doesn't end.
Maybe. I'm not sure that China sees it as a holy war that they're going to be willing to have last forever. Really, mainland China I'm talking about. I don't think they're going to be doing that. Taiwan probably would. And the good thing is that Taiwan is on our side, so therefore, Taiwan is not going to stop defending themselves, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. So you can count on that.
Well, that's that. I worry about that because I would definitely say the Chinese Navy is by far better than Taiwan's. I think that's why we have their back.
They are bigger, definitely, for sure. The difference is that in order to conquer Taiwan, you can't just sink a navy, and you can't just blockade an island, which they probably couldn't actually even do. You actually have to put boots on the ground, and there's that's a tall order to go across the Strait of Taiwan and to conquer an island of multiple tens of millions of people.
Well,
especially, I mean, maintaining that kind of a long supply line is extremely dangerous and vulnerable.
And now there is where things get fun. That over the past 20 years, China's been building artificial islands in the South China Sea for that purpose.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So I mean, to
this
me,
is not going to help them with Taiwan, though. So Taiwan is in a completely different spot.
Yeah, but what it does is it gives a supply chain. Well, they're already doing it. They're doing as much disrupting of the shipping line as they can. So that becomes an issue. It's a systematic thing. It's not what they're going to do. Part of the system. I fully think it's going to happen. It's just when. I'm worried that it happens soon because all the conflicts that we've been involved in and all the economic situations that it's put us in already. I think that, and you were saying it earlier, the effect it would have on China. I believe wholeheartedly that um, if we economically go into chaos, it's still a win for them. And we absolutely, if that happened, oh my God, we would go into everyone's gas is going to go 10 by times 10. All your everything goes up. Everything goes up. Everything. iPhone go away for a little till Orange comes out. It cost you $10,000, but hey, American smartphone. That's just the outcome I see happening. I can't help it. That's reality, man. Reality. I think I said it was far fetched. I think we have got to the end of this stream. So I'm going to start repeating myself. I think, or actually, Cora, did you want to finish out and say something before I take off?
No,
Hope
I think you
something.
no, you wrapped up the subject pretty good, so I'm good.
Right. Well, I do appreciate you coming in. You are a definite appreciated addition to the panel when you come in. So thank you very much. Texlex, Blue, you guys, anything you want to finally say before I cut out?
No?
Well, thank you for coming in. You're always welcome here. Oh, if anybody is interested, you don't. Yeah. If anybody's interested with debating a Satanist, did I say that correctly? Make sure I said that. Satanist.
Yes.
Satanist. If anyone is wanting to debate one, we're going to set that up over at the MMM debate. It's going to be the MMM Missile Mass Media Discord server. That link, my descriptions, will get you going through there. Little voice verifications, that's like for 18, stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to try to set that up. I got somebody. You still got to DM me, which you want it to be about. They have an idea what they're coming into. Make it very vague, though. You don't want to give them.
I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to argue specifically.
Yeah, no hurry. He seemed more than willing to get the details and stuff, and not need to be right now. So it'll work out. Blue, got anything you wanted to end out with? Listening, but I do appreciate you being here, sir. Crimson, you just got here, so you don't get to say anything. If you want to, you go. Otherwise, okay. So we go ahead. I'll stay here since you guys are here. You're probably listening this way. So everyone knows, Monday, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Central, or 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. I will be interviewing Will Duffy here at the live stream. If you guys have questions that you haven't heard asked, or you want me to re-ask something, because I know I'm gonna be repeating questions that's already been asked to him. Let me know. Send him to my DMs. Put him in the comments of this live stream, and I will absolutely ask him. I plan on being a treasure trove of questions for him. It's going to be fun. I like I said, I do absolutely have a different mindset on this whole situation than a lot of the people that have from the Globe side that have. I think I will probably fall in line, kind of like what Demon Stride was, because we have different reasons for questioning him, but we both do have questions for him. So that's going to be interesting. I will have like some type of upload talking about it coming up, and you'll see the event for it probably tomorrow. I want to make sure it's out there, but let everyone know. Share that. Other than that, I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. If I go live, it'll be nowhere. So can't give you a schedule. But absolutely Monday. Monday I'm gonna go live early, like morning, and then I will go live again. So it'll be 2 live streams. But so hope you guys are there for that. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and believe it or not, I'm gonna go ahead and deafen out of Discord. Now I'm gonna do my real rant and then actually get out of here. So if you guys want to catch that, you have to go back to the channel. All right, let's exit out of here. Any distractions? Okay, so I want to make this very clear. This interview that I'm going to do is 1,000% so that I get to understand this better. I want to be able to convey how I feel about this and what's going on, and it not be through the eyes of a what I now call a glober, because there is a very one-sided, very one-sided, and it's the negative side is from the globers. Oh, the whining this and the whining that. I'm going to tell you right now, what they're doing is not a trip to your fucking Disneyland. They're not going to just be gone in a couple days. Their lives are going to be disrupted. It does cost money that your life is going to miss, that's not going to be there because you're leaving. It takes money to get there. And more importantly, you're dealing with people you know are wrong. And now you want to play this moral game like they shouldn't feel paranoid and want another flat earther to be there. Keep it fucking real. If there's zero fucking reason to keep acting, and let's keep this straight. I get that they're wrong. I get that Jaren probably won't go because he doesn't want to lose the cash cow. I get all these things. But listening and seeing Globers act the way you guys are, like this is the nail in the coffin, or that guy or this guy is a pussy because he won't commit to going, or oh, he's asking for too much. He's not. No, I'm gonna tell you right now, Jaren wanting someone else to go, not asking too much. Witsit wanting Duffy to go, not asking too much. He's the guy who brought all this shit to it. Not sure if you remembered or not, but in Demon's interview, and many conversations that you may have heard me have about this, Duffy not going seems odder, huh, than him, than him, not just going with Whitson and Jaren. Man, he's a grown fucking man. You guys act like he's not capable of knowing what he needs to do there and then getting it done. He's fully capable of doing it. Stop acting like he's not. You don't need Keegan to go. Keegan makes your guys' job easier because you know he's going to do this and that. But the reality of it is, what makes more fucking sense is send 2 flat earthers and send a glober who doesn't have the same bullshit rhetoric ready at the trigger as a flat earther does, right? You go and debate Jaren or Witsit, you know what you're gonna say because you got a script too. Let's keep it fucking real. But who better to prove to all the flat earthers that this is real than someone who doesn't know the rhetoric, who isn't going to play the same game you know to play against Witsit and Jaren? That doesn't make sense to you guys? It does to me. If you're that confident, and our globe, I'm that confident, it makes perfect sense to send 2 flat earthers and a glober who doesn't know the rhetoric, who doesn't know the bullshit ways to bullshit and be playing this. I'm looking out for the gotchas. They're just there to witness something. That makes more fucking sense to me than Keegan. I've seen some of Keegan's uploads. He plays the same fucking games that all the other fucking that fight the flat earth and all them play. They're stupid. Don't listen to them. Why not have someone that's just as clueless as they are? So everyone there gets to fucking get an experience and learn what the fuck is going on. And for the experiments, the observations they want to do there, okay, they've talked about a drone in case there's some clouds, other aspects of the experiment. You're telling me that Will Duffy doesn't know how to fly a drone? He can't learn to fly a drone? the experiments are there? He doesn't know how to read a GPS. Doesn't know how to turn the record button on a camera. What part of this observation makes Duffy not qualified to go with just Jaren and Whitsitt? Their rhetoric's going to be the same, whether it's fucking Keegan or Duffy. They're not going to be fucking debating in Antarctica. That's not what they're there for. You don't need a Glober that knows the rhetoric. And that's the reason you guys want Keegan, right? Because he knows Whitsitt, he knows Jaren, he knows how to get around their BS. It's not about that. They're not fucking, it's not a debate via Antarctica. It's a fucking observation. The responsibility of the three of them, the three of whoever goes, is to record these observations and the things they do to have more understanding of the observations. That's it. I don't get what the fuck is going on. Someone said to me, well, 15 people ended up going. Should they all be flat earthers? Absolutely. You're like, well, you need this and that to keep them honest. They're going to do honest or dishonest regardless of who's there. You think they're going to be like, oh, well, we got to change up our fucking rhetoric because Keegan's here and not Duff? No. No one cares, right? No one should give a fuck about what Duffy says happened there. No one should care what Jaren says happens there. No one should care what Whitsitt says happens there. We're all going to want the same thing. Proof. We're going to want to see footage. We're going to want to see what they did to get that footage. We're going to want to see how accurate they got that footage. It's not difficult. Not difficult at all. But everyone wants to make it into this, oh, Whitsitt's crying and Jaren's crying. No, they're not. No, they're not. This thing has been around for a month. You guys act like they should have already planned for it. Flat Earthers should already have GoFunded so the rest of the 25 or 24 people could have gone. Like, get real. Get your heads out your asses. You guys look ridiculous. And you guys look ridiculous in front of people you know, I know are fucking wrong. I know they're willing to fucking talk out of their ass to explain these things. But you guys still act like, oh, well, if this one person goes, it'll change it all. No, it won't. So if it's got to be Duffy, the Whitsitt goes, Duffy should go. It's his fucking money. It's his thing. The last thing he should do is sit out. And that's on the guides that he only wants to pay for 3 tickets. If he only wants to pay for 3 tickets, that's on him. There's no fault to that at all. There's no flat earthers can't be like, well, he's just no, fuck that. 3 tickets. That's all he wants to spend. Fine. Him going or not going shouldn't be a debate. He should go. It's his thing. Doesn't matter if he doesn't get their rhetoric. They're not going to fucking debate. Stop acting like they're going there to debate and you need someone who knows Whitsitt and knows Jaren. As far as everything's concerned, it's 3 fucking people that are going to Antarctica to make an observation and record it. That's all it is. Doesn't fucking matter who's there. Stop pretending it does. Stop playing the fucking Trojan horse game where, because I'm a Glober, I get to talk shit. No, you're just making yourselves look stupid. We know they're fucking wrong. We know they're full of shit, but yet you want to play this game like you expect anything fucking different. And with that being said, Duffy goes, who gives a fuck? It makes more sense for most flat earthers to go than for your Glober to go. Doesn't even fucking make sense to me. And then let's remember this. There are a lot of flat earthers. I mean a lot of flat earthers. More than willing to commit to go. They'll sign on the fucking dotted line right this second. Those are just the ones you guys aren't talking about. Purposely not talking about. Because you want your dig. You want to be able to talk shit to Whitsitt. You want to be able to talk shit about Jaren. You don't want just someone to go to observe what's going on. You just want to play a reason to talk shit. Don't care if my reason is good. Don't care if I have a valid reason for saying what I'm saying. But I'm going to say it. Well, you're making yourself look ridiculous. You may not think so, but there are a lot of fucking globers, a lot of fucking globe believers, or people who understand we live on a globe. That's exactly right. There's that distinction. People that understand it's a globe, that are looking at you globers going, you guys are, that's ridiculous. About it. That being said, I'm done with my rant, done venting about that situation. Monday, 4 o'clock Mountain Time, 5 o'clock Central. Will Duffy will be on the live stream. I will be interviewing him. Again, DM me your questions, throw them in the bunker, throw them in the chat in this live stream, and I will use them. I'm going to get as many questions as I can and ask them whether they've been asked before or not. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys being here, everyone that joined the panel. With that being said, I'm done.
If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and a pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit him with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit him with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla just cause I say so. Electric whip like Ivan Vanko. I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
I've been on a mission like totally spice. I'm a bad she bad, but she totally nice. Nails are blue and her toes feel like white. They complete me, child at the soul for my leg. He knew it for sure, but he left with a
We have a backup experiment. If you're seeing through this hole, through the next hole, and seeing the light at the backboard, or at 17 feet off the water, the Earth is flat. If he's holding it up at 23 feet high and we're seeing the light, well, that's because the Earth's curved. So I should only be able to see it when it's at 17 feet. Okay, go ahead and drive down there, Enrique. You're gonna hold the light there. Enrique, how high is your light?
17 feet.
I mean, you know, it's as, we don't see you, Enrique. Lift up your light way above your head. Interesting. Interesting there. That's interesting.